Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, to a new vlog or chatty update. I haven't fully decided what I'm doing right now, but I wanted to update people. I have so many updates. It's been so long since I have been on YouTube like in a video. I've done some live streams and I will, just a quick note, I will be doing some more live streams coming up. I will be on one live stream on the 5th, I believe, on Ash's channel, and then I think that's all I have scheduled so far. But I would like to get back into doing some more live streams, but things have just been a bit crazy. Just kind of give you a general update. I've been obviously working a lot on my book. I have a lot of updates. Strap in, grab a snack, we might be here a while, but I've also had, you know, some other things going on. Everything's fine, everything's pretty okay, but I did have like back to back. I had 2 family members who had surgery. The surgeries went well. They were like successful, but it was just kind of, you know, a back to back thing, and it's just been a bit busy. There's been lots going on. And October, today is the 30th of September. October is a really busy month for me, normally speaking. It's my birthday month. I also, like, for example, today is my friend's birthday. And then my birthday is in October, and then my other friend's birthday is in October, so it's a lot of birthdays, a lot of social time. I don't know, I just feel like it's such a busy time of year because then it's you know, Halloween and all of that, and then it leads into you know, Thanksgiving and Christmas, and it's like, you know, there's just lots going on. So I hope to get some streaming in soon. I don't know if I can really, at this point in time, commit to like a specific day every week, so maybe we'll do some pop-up streams. Maybe I'll just kind of try to schedule in some here and there. If anyone wants to stream with me, let me know. I'd love to have some friends. But maybe do some solo ones as well. And yeah, so anyways, I got so much to update you on. Also, the lighting is gonna be like in and out because, you know, it's the Pacific Northwest, fall time. The sun doesn't know what it wants, so we're just at its mercy. Is it gonna be cold today? Is it gonna be hot? We don't know. We'll just have to find out. If you're new here, I'm Saoirse Bray. I'm a fantasy romance writer, and I'm publishing my debut book very, very soon. And I don't have a release date for you or a cover to show you yet. We'll get into that, but hopefully very soon I'll be able to share some concrete things like when the pre-order will start, where you can buy it, all those things. But right now we're just kind of waiting for some last minute, well, not last minute, but just waiting for some things to happen. But still have some fun, exciting updates nonetheless, and I just want to blab at you for a bit about all the writing stuff. So I hope you're into that. I did finish the book. A Taste of Bliss is done. It's probably still got like some typos. I'm gonna keep kind of working on trying to catch some of the typos. I mean, honestly, at a certain point, I'm just gonna be okay with there being a couple typos. I've caught some big ones since, like, I finished my draft. You know, after getting the copy edits back, sent it back to my editor. She proofread it. Then I kind of looked over it again. I read it through again and caught some more typos, and then people have been arc reading and they've caught some typos. So it's just, there's typos. People are like, I'm human, I can't catch all of them. My editor's human, she can't catch all of them. You know, even the, you know, the arc readers that are catching some of them aren't catching all of them, and that's not their job. But like, you know, it just goes to show, like, no one's catching all the typos. So there, you know, there could be a couple typos in this, and that's just gonna have to be okay. But if, you know, if I catch any more, I obviously will be updating I will obviously be updating my file before I put it up, you know, with all of the typos that I've caught, but where was I going with that? The book is done, basically all that to say, aside from potentially a couple more typos. But it's done. It's done. It's been done since August, since the 1st of August, if I recall correctly. And that's super exciting. I am very, very excited. I'm making this face because, you know, when you're done with a book and then you can't publish it yet, like it's not ready yet, but the book itself is done, you start to get, or at least I is starting to get kind of like, okay, like I'm done, the book's done, I want it to be out, like can it be out already? It's kind of old news at this point that the book is done for me, like I'm like moved on to the next thing. But that's the first update, is that the book is done. I also, and what I'm about to show you, this is not the cover. It's not even remotely the cover, so don't get attached to it. It's also, I would not be able to sell this as like the picture I used. I don't believe I have the correct license to actually use in a commercial sense, so this is solely for my personal use. This is not at all what the cover is gonna look like. I just want to put that expectation out there. This is a totally different vibe. I'm kind of calling this the Bliss edition, a very limited run of one book made. It's very limited edition, a rare find, okay? But it's not for sale. It won't ever be for sale. It's yeah. I'm just letting you guys know that in case any of you are like, but I love pink and I'm attached to it. I did get my book printed out, so I wanted to get another one printed out because I wanted to test the interior and make sure I liked the font size, make sure that, you know, I liked it. And now that I have it, I can do potentially another read through for typos and such, but I have already done that, so I don't really want to do that again, but we'll see. This took forever. When I uploaded it, I did get this printed by Barnes & Noble Press. I got it uploaded, and the approval process this time around happened overnight. I don't know why it took so freaking long the last time that I tried to print out my book, which actually, let me go grab that because I do need to show you the size comparison. So as some of you may remember, this is when I got it printed out the first time. This is draft 2 of this book, cover by CK. I got this printed out to do a read through of draft 2. I wanted to, you know, read it in a format that felt more real, like a book, you know, like an actual book. And look at them. So this took forever for like Barnes & Noble Press to approve the file. And so it was so long, and it was granted during the holiday season, so I think that's why, but it took so long. This one was approved overnight, but then the printing and shipping part of it took like 2 weeks, which was, in my opinion, that's like kind of ridiculous. I mean, I don't really know what they're doing. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I was a little annoyed because I kind of wanted to use this to do like my final read through. But anyways, I needed it printed out no matter what because I did need to make sure that I liked the font size. The font size of this copy was too big in my opinion. I'm flipping to a random page. Remember that this is draft 2, so don't actually read the words. But anyways, I don't know if you can tell. The font size is a bit big in my opinion. I just didn't like it. I thought it was too large. And I kind of was looking at other books that I own and kind of just seeing like, you know, is this in line with those books? But it felt bigger. It looked like it was bigger. So I did make the font size smaller. I don't know, again, maybe, I don't know if I can hold these both up at the same time, but just trust me, the font size is smaller in this just by a fraction. This one was 311 pages, not including like the dedication and title page and things like that. This book is, and not including kind of the extra pages, this one is 396 pages. So total, this book is like 400 something pages, again, with just like the extra I've got a dedication page. I have a thing that like lists out the type of fae. I have an author's note. I have an acknowledgement section. I have an about the author. I have a little thing that's like, hey, are you looking for book 2? It kind of just shows like where I'm at with book 2, etc., etc. But yeah, so let's just take a little look here. So again, draft 2. This is the final. It grew. It grew quite a bit, which is just so very, very exciting. The other thing that I'm annoyed about is that Barnes & Noble freaking didn't package this very well. So it came a little busted at the corner, which I hate. And it kind of had this little, again, this little like, it's not super noticeable, but it just annoys me that they're not more careful when they're packaging books. Like, what are you doing? There's a little thing in the back. Again, this thing right here, like this is not what the cover is gonna look like. The back cover, like the blurb is the blurb. This is the final blurb, but like this part up here, I don't think is gonna go on there because I'm worried that people might be confused by it, and it is in the book, but it's not like that big of a part of the book. So I don't know, I just put it on there because I thought it would be kind of cool. I also have a picture of myself on here, but actually you guys have seen this picture. I used it in a thumbnail, so I'll just put that there. But anyways, I got this printed out and that was really cool, and that was exciting, and I forgot to share that with you guys and show it to you and all of that. My apologies again. Like I said, I have been very, very busy. The other thing, I kind of want to leave this a surprise. I did like little chapter headers, so I kind of want to leave those a surprise for when people read the book, but lost all the steam that I had. So the other update, and we might come back to this, I might like realize that I forgot to tell you guys something, but oh yes, okay, before I go on to that update, let me circle back to the cover. So my cover designer did get back to me with the mock covers. The way that she works is that she does 3 mock covers. They're basically just sketches, very like simple sketches, just kind of like making sure that she doesn't get like super far into a cover design that isn't like the right direction, you know what I mean? So she does 3 different mock covers for her clients, and then kind of like gets a sense of which direction they want to go in, and then she does like the actual cover design. So I have seen the mock covers. I actually got to look at those yesterday, and I did get back to her today with my selection. I chose one of the designs and kind of told her, and I'm like not sure if this is really how it works normally, but I did kind of tell her like I had some ideas for changes that I wanted or wanted kind of incorporated into the design, and like other elements that I would want, and kind of just told her that. And I said, you know, by the way, like if any of these are things that you think just won't work, please let me know. Obviously I want to lean on her expertise and her experience as a cover designer, because I don't know what the F I'm doing when it comes to that. I don't really know what, you know, like she knows way more about like genre expectations and what is going to like really catch people's eyes. So I want to let her do her thing, but I also like got these ideas after seeing her initial kind of direction that we could go in. It got the ideas going in my head. So we'll see what she says with that, but I expect to have the cover no later than October 10th, and I should have the actual cover should be done sooner than that. That's like the last possible date, and I think she was adding some cushioning in there, so I should have the cover no later than October 10th, and I'm really hoping to have the cover reveal no later than October 15th. Again, I haven't really kind of decided exactly, like we'll see. I think I'm gonna wait until I have the cover, and then I'll plan the cover reveal like thing. And I believe, again, if I'm not mistaken, my cover designer does kind of create some things that I can post on social media that'll kind of reveal the cover, so like little graphics that I can post. So I'm very, very excited. I know kind of the direction that we're going in, but I can't fully picture it in my head, and I just know that just based off seeing her finished designs that she's done for other books. Like, I know that it's going to be more beautiful than I could probably imagine. So I'm very, very excited, and I hope she doesn't think I'm super crazy for all of my like ideas that I sent to her today. But anyways, I should have something hopefully to share with you. Again, it's September 30th as of right now, so I don't know how long it takes her to, once she has a direction in mind, I don't know how long it takes her to like do her thing. So we'll kind of see. Also, you guys can't see it right now. I need to show you this. Do you guys see that? She's snuggling with the yarn that is attached to the sweater that I'm knitting. Like, excuse me, that is mine. Also, I think her nose is like on my laptop. But here we go. Look at her. Sorry, okay, I definitely had to share that with you guys because that was too stinking cute. Okay, so the other thing to update, talked about finishing the book, talked about the cover. The other thing, again, that I'm really trying to keep in mind here is once I have the cover, I have to print proof copies. As we have already discussed, that can take quite a while to make their way to me. I'm hoping that, because I'm not using Barnes & Noble Press, I'm going to be using KDP and Ingram Spark. I know that Ingram Spark and Barnes & Noble Press are the same press, but I'm hoping that Ingram Spark will be a little bit quicker to like get things printed, get them shipped out. Will that be the case? Probably not. So I'm planning that it's going to take about 2 weeks from the time that I order the proof copies. It will take about 2 weeks for them to arrive. So again, say I get the cover on the 10th, that's when I can actually go and like upload I'll have already kind of uploaded things, but like to get the dimensions of the cover to give to my cover designer so that she has like the right, size file and all of that. And then I will be, so basically on the 10th, I should have everything uploaded to Amazon, to Ingram Spark. It should all be kind of doing its thing. I'll have already gotten started on this prior. I'll already have like my account set up and everything so that, there's no issue with that. So again, all those things will be ready to go. Yesterday I bought my ISBNs, just to let any of you know who, oh my gosh, Lena. Just to let any of you know who are self-publishing in the future, or who are kind of wondering this. I have decided to purchase my ISBNs. You can use free ones. There's a lot of YouTube videos that kind of explain why you wouldn't want to use the free ones, and maybe some situations where you would want to use them. So for me, because I at some point do want to take my books wide. I am starting out doing KDP and KDP Select specifically. I'm going to put my books on KU, which means they can't be available elsewhere. I want to be the owner of the ISBN, basically, so that if I do go wide later on, I don't have to like republish the book. I can just use the same ISBN. It won't look like a second edition or anything like that. The other thing to note here that may or may not be a big deal to you, but if you use the free ISBNs, I think this is only an issue on Amazon, and I've heard that it's not always the case, but if you use the free ISBNs on Amazon, you aren't always listed as the publisher. Sometimes Amazon will then list themselves as the publisher. I don't like that. I don't want someone else claiming, even in a way like that's so simple that readers barely see. I don't want anyone else claiming that they published my book. I'm the one doing all the work. I want the credit. I want my publishing like imprint name there instead. I'm putting all the work in. I want the credit. I've heard that readers rarely see that's not something that they look at, that it's not something that factors into their, you know, decision to buy a book. And so I don't care about it from that standpoint, but it's just, I don't want to look at that and see the publisher name as Amazon. It's not a big deal, but to me, I don't know. I can't have that. So that was part of it. And then also, on another note, you can now be on Kindle Unlimited and have your ebook available to libraries, which is amazing. I am so happy that this is a change that KDP made. I didn't think that Amazon would ever do something like this because, let's face it, they're a corporation, they're greedy as fuck, it's, you know, we don't need to get into that. They're not good, you know? But on the other hand, the royalty rates can sometimes be better on Amazon for indie authors. The indie authors wouldn't be able to have careers like this without Amazon, so it is a, what's the metaphor I'm looking for? Not a double-edged sword. It's, well, maybe. I don't know. There's pros and cons, basically, is what I'm saying. And some of the things that Amazon does is really, really shitty. And other things that Amazon does is actually better than other companies. And it's, you know, there's nuance to it, is what I'm saying. It's not a black and white thing. Anyways, as much as I hate these corporations and everything, I'm very pleased that they decided to, and it's annoying that they were even in a position to not allow this, right? But it is what it is. Basically, I'm just going to focus on the fact that my book could potentially make it into a library. Will a librarian ever want to buy my book and add it to their library catalog? I don't know. But the exciting part is that they have the opportunity to. So I will talk later about how I'm going to do that. I did just watch a video on it, and it looks like the best option is that I will also be uploading my ebook, and only my ebook, because I don't know that Draft to Digital does paper. No, I think they do now. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I will just be uploading my ebook to Draft to Digital, but only for libraries. If you allow Draft to Digital to distribute your ebook to retailers, you would be in violation of the, you know, KU exclusivity thing. So just to libraries, and there's videos out there for how to do that, but I'm very excited about that. But that means that the ISBN, I don't want to use a free one from Amazon because I can't use that on Draft to Digital, right? And Draft to Digital probably also has free ISBNs, but then there could be some confusion, like if a librarian is looking at my book with one ISBN and they're like, this book is getting rave reviews, for example, maybe. I want to order, you know, a few copies for our library because, you know, and like our library users are requesting it. And then they go and they look and like that ISBN isn't available because Draft to Digital is distributing my book with a different ISBN. You see where I'm going with this? So it just makes more sense to have it be the same ISBN. So all that to say, I bought my ISBNs and I bought 100 of them. Now that might seem like a lot because you might be sitting there thinking like, you really think you're gonna write 100 books? But if you think about it, every single one of my books is going to have at least an ebook and at least a paperback, if not also maybe a hardback or an audiobook. All those things need ISBN numbers, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure about audiobooks actually. I think they still, yes, I think they still have ISBNs. Anyways, so at bare minimum, those 100 ISBNs will be used for 50 books, which again, you might be saying like, you think you're gonna write 50 books, and I hope so. I hope so. I mean, is that crazy? I have like 30 plus book ideas, and that's right now, and I'm turning 33 in October. I got hopefully a long writing career ahead of me. I do fucking hope that I write more than 50 books. Is that crazy? I don't know. Would I publish all of them? Again, I don't know. Is that crazy? But it was $575, which is a lot up front, but hear me out. that puts the price of each ISBN at like less than $6 each. So yeah, and then I don't have to buy any ISBNs for quite a while. And again, if we think about the fact that at some point I will also do hardbacks and special editions and audiobooks, probably those ISBNs are not like yeah. Basically what I'm saying is those are going to get used up like before I published 50 books easily because of special editions and things like that. If I wanted to do a different cover at some point or anything like that, again, it would be a different ISBN, right? So I hope that I will write 50 books or more in my lifetime, but also even if I don't, I will still use up all of those ISBNs. So one, because we have capitalism and the patriarchy to blame for this. One ISBN on its own is $125. I don't know why that makes any sense. I think that should be illegal somehow to charge that much for something that like countries like Canada give away for free. So if you're not in the US, I've heard that the cost is a lot lower. So for your sake, I hope you live in Canada or somewhere else where you don't have to pay for your ISBN, or if you like, at least you don't have to pay a ton. But if you're in the US, my condolences, and also to myself. So I did send my book out to my first round of ARC readers, is kind of how I'm referring to them. So basically just some friends in the writing community and a couple other friends. I think as of right now only 10 people have downloaded the book, but I'm also like, I think that might have been the total number of people that I sent out or that requested an ARC copy so far. I can't remember how many people like signed up for it. I will leave the link to my ARC sign up form if you would like to, if you'd be interested. I just ask that obviously like you need to be willing, like the whole purpose of an ARC copy is that you would then review it on somewhere like Goodreads and Amazon. I will ask that if you sign up and you receive an ARC copy, that you please, 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 please leave it a review on Goodreads at the bare minimum. And if you're not willing to do that, please do not sign up for the ARC. Okay, and this is just an e-ARC, by the way. It's not a physical copy. I don't have the money for that. I can only like, I have a small budget for potentially sending out a physical ARC to some like bookfluencers, but that's only because the idea would be that that would be a very good return on investment. I don't have the money to send it out to like a bunch of people. So if you're interested in reading my book and you're down to leave an honest review on Goodreads and also Amazon, if you can possibly, that would be amazing. I think those are the two places that, but like Goodreads I think is the most important one, but also if you use Storygraph or what are the other ones like Fable or Pagebound or any of those other Goodreads alternatives, I would also love if you would post on there. But you like, if you're signing up for, I need you to post your review on Goodreads. Like, it's unfortunate because it is owned by Amazon, but that is like the biggest place for book reviews. So the other thing I would ask is please don't sign up for the ARC if you don't read fantasy romance. Like, again, appreciate the support, but I really need reviews from people who like actually know the genre and who actually read the genre. So again, like I appreciate it, but I really do need the reviews to be the people that that are kind of know genre expectations and things like that. So fantasy romance readers, and specifically would love if you read paranormal romance as well, but that's not necessarily a requirement as long as you read fantasy romance as a whole. So with that being said, I'll leave that link in the description if you're interested. It's still open. And I just, again, also need, sorry, this is another little tidbit. I do need it read. The form might say by like mid-October. As long as you read it by late October, I think it'll be okay. As long as you get your review up then, because again, like I said, things got a little pushed back. Okay, so then the other thing I kind of wanted to mention is that the reason things got pushed back and kind of what I've learned through this process, and really what it comes down to is I think things just happen. Stuff comes up, stuff doesn't, you know, go according to plan, And I think you just need to leave, at least in my opinion, and kind of what I'm planning for my next release is just kind of giving myself a little bit of a like cushion, like a month and a half to 2 months of a cushion. Because for example, my cover designer actually was thinking that she, like our set date for when the cover would be fully done was supposed to be September 26th, but she did end up getting sick and was not able to work on it for a bit there and had to like push the time frame back. So and I, you know, I understand that. I don't want to ever like make someone feel like they need to force themselves to work when they're ill, when they should be resting. Like people's health is way more important, and so, and you can't help it, you know, it's not something you have control over all the time. And so I wanted to make sure that in the future I'm not like that basically I have this cushion built into my time frame in case things go wrong. And I think too, I'm just finding myself feeling not like I'm scrambling. I have enough time, but I just feel like there's things I'm like, oh, I should have done this a bit sooner. I feel like I'm doing this last minute. I feel like I should have thought about this sooner. But yeah. That's kind of why things ended up getting pushed back originally. I was hoping to release in October, and it's just looking like more and more like it's definitely going to be November, and I'm hoping mid-November, but it could also be late November. I really don't know at this point. The other thing that I really need to look into is getting my book on NetGalley. I would like to use a NetGalley co-op, and I need to make sure that I can get it scheduled in, and I should probably reach out today actually and do that. Knowing that my cover is going to be released on knowing that my cover will be 100% done on the 10th, I should be able to schedule my book to go up on NetGalley on like the 15th and have it from like October 15th to November 15th. And if that happens, then I think I can release my book by November 15th. At the earliest, depending on depending on the proof copies. I think that's the next thing that's kind of a big holdup, is like just how long these can take for them to print out a proof copy and get it to you. So so we'll just kind of see what happens. But that's why, and I don't know how easy it is to like move up a release date. I don't think I would try to mess around with that just on the off chance that I totally mess something up. I think that's why I'm kind of hesitant to not set a date, because I want to do it as early as I can. At this point, I think I need to be on the safe side and probably just plan for a late November release. But anyways, I'll kind of think on that more and maybe try to come up with a specific release date. Sorry, it's just update after update because I haven't been filming. I also switch gears a little bit. I finished my first draft of book 2. So I started writing book 2 in March, and just worked on it in between working on book 1 stuff, because book 1, it was, you know, I had to do revisions and then send it, you know, to my copy editor or to beta readers and whatnot. And so it was like I just started working on book 2 when I had time away from book 1, and it just kind of finished itself. Honestly, it's sitting at about 94,000 words, which is, I hear a siren, sorry if the camera's picking that up, but 94,000 words was less than what I was anticipating the draft would end up being. However, I did have to leave some gaps towards the end in Act 3 because I just knew so much was going to change in draft 2, and so many things I kind of added, even though they weren't in the outline, that kind of changed how things needed to be handled in Act 3. So I kind of had to leave some things out. I am definitely assuming a lot of draft 2 will be writing new scenes, but also threading in things better so that the plot is a bit more cohesive and things are set up properly, and then that they're tied together at the end properly. I do have like the ending I don't think is changing much. I think it's pretty solid, and I did cry when I wrote. There was a moment when I was writing, I can't remember which plot point it was, but there was a moment where I was writing something, a scene, and I definitely teared up a bit, and then at the end I kind of was like tearing up again a little bit because just things are happening. And I won't say anything else, but it's gonna be exciting trying to make sure that the ending pays off the way that I envision it. So I'm really excited to make these things that kind of made me tear up. I'm really excited to like my goal is a little bit to like make the readers cry just a little. Yeah, I'm excited for that. And there's a lot of other things, but anyways, I've kind of, you know, temporarily shelved book 2 just for a couple weeks. I'm going to get back into it, do a read through starting on October 15th, if I'm not too busy with other things. And in the meantime, because I just want to take a break, I did, before I kind of mentally like shelved it, I did make a list of things that I know that I want to tackle in draft 2, just so I wouldn't forget them. But in the meantime, I've actually been working on a dark romance project. I'm calling it Project Heartbeat, and I'm zero drafting it. Basically just vibing with it right now. I haven't really been writing much plot for it. It's mostly been the romance part of things, primarily the smutty, spicy romance part of things, and I've just been kind of hopping around from scene to scene. I think I've gotten maybe like 11,000 words written in that project, and it's just a little side passion project that I'm working on. Something just totally different, you know, there's no fantasy elements of it. So it's just been, I think, a little bit of an easier, I'm not saying that like non-fantasy books are easier to write by any means, but I think that sometimes they feel a little bit on the like chiller side because you don't have to come up with like a magic system and maybe like a, you know, a secondary world and different creatures and things like that. So it's like, you know, it's like you can kind of just focus on, instead of the world building part, you can focus on just the plot and the characters, and it's kind of just like one less thing you have to think about. So yeah, I'm not trying to say it's easier, but it's just a different vibe that I think is needed right now for me, because I just want something that is a little bit more low-key, a little bit more relaxing, that I kind of just vibe with. Again, like I said, it's all vibes at this point. I don't really have anything else I want to share about it. I have kind of decided, I was thinking about not talking a lot about my dark romance projects publicly because that genre is heavily stigmatized, and I do think a lot of that is rooted in misogyny, and I do think a lot of the hate and ridicule that dark romance faces is very much rooted in misogyny, and in the patriarchy and in sexism, and I don't want to go into that whole argument right now, but I feel like a lot of people purposefully misunderstand the genre, and also I think a lot of people are just unfortunately really uneducated on it and don't know what they're talking about. They hear one thing about one book and they think that it applies to the whole genre, and they totally misrepresent it. And I think some people aren't trying to be malicious about it, but I think other people absolutely are, and it just didn't feel right to try to hide that I'm writing in that genre. I want to be part of the change I wish to see in the world. And with that being said, I don't think I am going to use a pen name. I mean, I am using a pen name, but I don't think I'm going to use a second pen name for any dark romance books that I publish, because I was talking about this with my friend and my critique partner, AJ, that she and I were kind of got to this point where, and I think she was the one that sort of brought up this point of like, where's the line though? Like, because I was like, well, what if I write like dark fantasy romance then? Like what pen, like if I'm writing fantasy romance under my Saoirse Bray pen name, and then I have a second pen name that's for dark romance, what if I write dark fantasy romance? Where does that go? And AJ kind of brought that point up of like, yeah, where's the line here? Like, you know, if you have a bit of crossover. And she also brought up too that like, again, while this book isn't, I would say it's not particularly dark, it deals with mature things. I felt I had to put content warnings in here, not because it's a dark romance or a dark fantasy romance, but there's, you know, there's mature themes, and some people might find it too much for them to read that. And so, you know, AJ kind of brought that point up of like, your book isn't this like light fluffy romance. So you know, it's like, it would make more sense if I was writing like fluffy, like YA contemporary romance, and then wanted to also write dark romance. I feel like those things would require two separate pen names, not for the author necessarily, but to protect the readers, because those audiences would look very different. But I think the people that are going to end up being my reader base for this series, I think there's going to be quite a bit of overlap of people who would also read dark romance. Not every reader, obviously, but I think there'll be enough where, you know, there's a little bit of overlap. And because this is an adult fantasy romance, my readers are hopefully always going to be adults who understand, you know, that different genres will have different, you know, things going on. And if they do happen to look at a book that I've written that's dark romance, it's going to be very clear to an adult reader that it is dark romance. And hope, you know, it should be clear, right? It should be clear that it's a dark romance that is meant for adults, through the marketing, through the blurb, through the cover, through everything that is used to kind of signify what genre a book is. And then if that's not enough to say, hey, this is a dark romance, that's what the author note is for, where I can say, hey, you're holding a dark romance. Put it down if that's not your vibe. Yeah, anyways, I've been filming for like ever. I'm sure the camera battery is probably about to die. Hopefully I can cut out a bit of this. I'm not gonna try to make this continue into a vlog, because I think I've just been sitting here rambling for like way too long. Like, we've been filming for 50 minutes. So, long rambly chat with Saoirse. Hope you enjoyed. I think that's everything that I needed to discuss. And my dog is 100% using my laptop as a pillow, so I need to go save it in case she's a really heavy head, so hopefully it's okay. I'll be back, I think, with maybe another writing vlog. We'll just kind of see. We're just gonna play it by ear. That's another thing I think I kind of want to briefly mention, is my attitude towards YouTube has kind of changed, where I'm sort of in this place where I'm like, where before I was like, well, do I do YouTube or do I not do YouTube? And now I'm kind of like, let's like remove the doing YouTube part. Like, I can just be a person who sometimes makes YouTube content. I don't have to like identify it with like, okay, I'm doing this or I'm not doing it. Like, you know, it can kind of be this weird in-between thing where I just upload when I feel like it. And I think that that's gonna hopefully work for me a little bit better, but also, there's so many other things that I want to be doing with my time. So if I'm not back for a while, it's just because I'm doing other things and I'm not trying to be a content creator anymore. So bear with me. I'll just be popping in here and there on this channel with like whatever I feel like, to be completely honest. And if that in any way doesn't work for you or bothers you or whatever, then I feel like you're not even here anymore anyways, so it's all good. Anyways, thank you so much for being here and for watching this video all the way through. I really appreciate it. If you did make it to the end of this video, go ahead, okay, this is gonna sound weird, but leave me a turkey emoji, because I'm about to go make myself a turkey sandwich and my book is releasing in November. So it's like Thanksgiving time, turkeys. Anyway, so yeah, leave me a turkey emoji. And again, thank you so much for being here. Let me know if you have any questions, if there's any self-publishing things you want me to discuss more next video. I will try to answer your comments in like the next video, or I'll try to answer any of those types of questions in the next video more in depth if that's something that you want. So yeah, but again, thanks so much, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day or night, and I'll see you in my next video.